Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And this is the Seven of Wands, Leo. This is a very good card for you. It represents some of your tenacity. You know, this is a card that says, I don't quit. No matter what, I'm not giving up on something, right? This is your virtue. This is saying, I'm going to be here until I get it done. That there is no, there's no mountain too high for me. There's no obstacle that's too great that I can't find a way over, under, or around it. Okay. And so this sometimes can become a card that doesn't really know when to quit, right? Because you don't have that bone in your body. You don't have that impulse to give up on something. Okay. So we have to see if this is perhaps a situation where we need to find a different tool, right? Sometimes this card is we're banging our head against a wall thinking, I'm not giving up on this wall. I'm going to break this wall down. Yeah, but we're also not doing very good things for our head at the same time, right? So maybe we need to step back and think of a new approach. Maybe we need to find a new tool in our toolbox that we can use instead of our head. Maybe we need to use our head more and not our hands. Maybe we've been punching the wall, right? So let's see what's going on with this card. Let's use our Dove and Serpent spread. Obviously, context is everything, right? You've got a Wheel of Fortune. Oh, yeah. Maybe this is saying, look, don't quit. Don't give up. Because good things are going to happen. You are creating your own luck here. Okay, you're activating the reciprocating, conspiring, universal energy that's going to come to your aid and assist you. If you stay in front of this long enough and keep pushing forward, you're going to activate the miracles and the blessings of the universe, and they're going to conspire to help you get through this obstacle, whatever the obstacle is, if it's something financial, if it's work-related, career, vocation, if it's a family thing, whatever it might be. Here we've got the Princess of Pentacles. You got the Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Are we going to go 4 for 4 on the Pentacles? Yes. Ace of, you're surrounded by the support in the material world, right? These are all earth energies. You're surrounded by the earth energies. And your fire is right here in the middle, and you are making things happen. Okay? I feel like this is a physical, material world thing for you. Whether this is, again, something financial, maybe it's health goals. Maybe it is, something that you are like literally building in the physical world. Okay? But you're using your hands. You're getting, I don't know why I feel like your hands they're scraped up from something, right? I'm getting that kind of vision for you. But I feel like maybe it's a metaphor for you just really diving into this, getting your hands dirty, so to speak, and figuring out a way. Like, you got to get your hands dirty when you are going through this kind of a thing. And I want to point out, too, that we have the 4 plus the ace to give us the 5, right? So I feel as if this is something where you're trying to go beyond the basics here. You're trying to push through to the next level. Okay? And I feel like it's getting here. It's coming. Okay? You got to go through the challenges. You got to go through all of that upset, all of these difficulties in order to get here. Okay? But you're trying to level up. You're trying to go from a 4. I think you have to go first to the 5, but then you get the 6, right? 5 and the ace. So in order to go from a 4 to a 6, you got to go through the 5. Here we have another 4. There's the 6. Look at that. 6 of Cups. Pleasure, beauty, relaxation, love, community, right? That's really, really nice. We have a 2 of Cups. And we've got a 5 of Cups. So it's kind of, it's almost the awareness of like, okay, well, to get the love I want, I gotta go through the challenges of, of dealing with disappointment. If I want to feel good about life, I've got to go and do the challenging things, So we're sort of looking at the 5s as being the short-term pains and difficulties that we know are the way to the long-term gains, right? The long-term fulfillment, the long-term love and pleasure. I got to make sacrifices now. I got to get my hands dirty now. I've got to confront this obstacle now in order to have this freedom, tranquility, and love and community and, well, relaxation later. Yeah. So I feel like what you're working toward is arriving. I feel like there's no more waiting. This is the moment, I think, where the Wheel of Fortune activates and you're arriving at the other side of this obstacle, whatever it is. And on the other side, yes, indeed, is pleasure and love and connection. And to me, this feels like relaxation and tranquility. You're going to have, you will have earned your repose, as they say. Yeah. Let's select our mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with our very own Kelly Kapoor right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. Okay. Now, as we look around the room, we only see one major arcana energy. This is the only one, and this is divine timing. This is the cosmic timepiece. This is Spirit's wristwatch. I'm not wearing mine today. This is the card that says things happen when they're meant to happen. Spirit doesn't need our approval ahead of time. Spirit doesn't even really need our participation, right? Doesn't need our cooperation. Things happen when they happen. And the thing about the 7 of Wands is that you're going to keep pushing through. You're going to keep working at this, making the sacrifices, getting your hands dirty, coming home cold and tired, until the thing opens up for you. And it's responding to your hard work and your tenacity. And that's the thing here, that by not giving up, you're proving that you care about this. You're proving that you want this more than anything. And you're proving that the short-term difficulties and challenges are worth it for that long-term success that you're after. The long-term fulfillment, and the long-term gains, if we're talking about something financial or even something in terms of physical health goals for you. Okay, a lot of earth energy here. We got the spiritual energy right in the middle. We've got your fire right in the middle. Then we've got water, water, water. Oh, a little bit of fire here. Don't forget about that. We got water, 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 and then earth, 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 and earth. Very heavy on the earth, and actually very heavy on the water too. So I feel as if this is kind of I don't know if I'd call it a long-term or a short-term goal right now, but I feel like this is a major triumph. I think as we get through this difficulty, we go from this 4, we go into the difficult terrain, and we emerge on the other side through 99% our tenacity and one little swing of luck here. A little sprinkle of serendipity, and you're coming out the other side. But this doesn't feel as if it is it's the end, right? So this doesn't feel like the long-term goal is accomplished. It's the finish line. It's an ace, right? And the aces of the tarot are usually the beginning of a path. The way I look at the aces, though, I do look at them as both endings and beginnings. Okay, because I feel like it kind of looks like the summit of the mountain. To me, it looks like a top-down view of that plateau. But what we don't realize is that every peak is just a plateau, and there's more peaks up there. Every mountain we climb, what's behind every mountain? More mountains. It's a mountain range, right? So I feel like your work's not over. I feel like part of your happiness and your satisfaction comes from doing the work that you do. that you like to be busy, you like to be involved, you like to get your hands dirty and feel that activity, feel that fire surging through your body as you're doing your work, right? There's a happiness in that. What there isn't is a satisfaction, a fulfillment, because that would maybe indicate that we don't have any more aspiration in us, right? That fulfillment in this case would kind of symbolize that we don't want to keep going. There's nothing left I want to do. There's no more. It's kind of a stagnation, right? So I feel like when we arrive here, it's going to be a level up, but we realize that the journey still continues. Okay. Now I'm feeling. I'm getting this feeling from Spirit that once, I think, like you lost your job a while back and you kind of thought that was the end of the world, right? But I wonder if what's going on here is that you're kind of realizing that it pushed you toward your true career path. And sometimes we experience the difficulties or the challenges, especially with the Five of Pentacles up here, that the Five of Pentacles could be that kind of a job loss. Maybe we're going from a 4 to the 5, and that's what this is. Maybe the 4 to the 5 is saying, I had a stable job, and now I don't know what I'm going to do. But I wonder if in hindsight you're going to realize, or maybe this has already happened to you. I feel like this happened a long time ago too, right? We had an upset. There was some kind of a financial difficulty, if it was a loss of a job or something like this. And we kind of thought like that was going to be the end of the world, but then we realized that it sort of pushed us, that it was, at the end of the day, it really was a stroke of luck that put us on a different path that may have been a more true path for us. Okay, so it pushes us to find our true career path, yeah? And so I wonder if you're either going through something like this again, that it's another shakeup in your life that's going to realign you to your true path, or if this is kind of you like remembering that event and thinking like, okay, this is time for me to do something similar, or this is another one of those shakeups where I know I have to go forward and I know I have to stick with this. And so we can avoid the despair perhaps of last time, right? Because maybe last time, if this is true for you, we sort of had a devastation when we encountered the Five of Pentacles, right? Because the 5 is everything's changing. Everything's up in the air. Everything's moving and we're worried. Yeah, we're worried. I lose my job, I'm worried. You know, we all have the bills to pay, and I think the 4 of Pentacles is the stability that we're all very comfortable with. This is the 4 walls, right? This is your water, shelter, food, and transportation, right? There, we've got 4. And those 4 walls, right? Water, shelter, food, and transportation, right? I guess that would be the basics, yeah. That this is... this is something that we get comfortable with, we get familiar with, we enjoy this, we like it, it's good, it feels safe, it's stable, it's secure. It feels secure and stable, it feels permanent, but it's not. All of the 4s remind us that everything is impermanent. It's stable, it's a good job, it's the 4 walls, it's my foundation of life, yes. But any moment we know that this could change. Well, I think you know it too, because I think back in the day, you thought you had this and something happened. Either the company went bankrupt, or there were layoffs, or there was a slowdown, or whatever, or something else happened and you didn't have that support in your life anymore. Okay? I guess instead of the job or the finances, we could be talking about something related to your health and well-being, your fitness, but I don't know. I feel more it's a work thing, financial thing. And so you realize, that this is something temporary. And you know that we need this. Everybody's got to get their 4 walls, their water, shelter, food, and their transportation. And that's kind of the basics, right? And it may be different for everybody, but whatever, you know what I mean. The 5 then is when we don't have that anymore, when one or more of those things is in jeopardy. And so we're worried. If suddenly I didn't have access to water, I'd freak out. I didn't have my transportation, freak out. Didn't have the shelter? Yeah. I mean, these are things that if anything seems unstable about it, when they start to fluctuate or there's this uncertainty, the ground starts moving around beneath our feet, we think it's an earthquake, we're going to freak out. I'm from California. I've been there. I've done that. I lived through the '89 earthquake, you know. And so going through something like that once, you kind of know, you know the deal, you know the routine. It's like, okay, nobody panic, find shelter, find a doorway, find something to, get inside of, go out into an open field or whatever you can do. And in school, we used to hide under our desks and hold on to the legs of the chair, of the desk, underneath the desk. That was our safety protocol for earthquakes in California. I don't know if that would have worked or not. Thankfully, never had to find out. But having lived through it once, I think you have an expectation. You say, okay, I know this is not going to be fun. But if you look at this card, you see that there is light that's breaking forth from underneath. In order to make the omelet, you got to break a couple of eggs, right? In order to really invoke your destiny and embrace this wheel of fortune and trust in the cycles of life here, you've got to face this and say, I know it's going to be rough, but I know that through this shakeup and instability, the old life is falling away and the new life is emerging. This is something that's breaking through from under the surface. It's almost like something's molting, right? Shedding a skin, shedding our exoskeleton, and emerging as a new level, a new version of ourselves, a new income bracket, a new promotion, a new level up, right? And so I feel like what you're doing now is probably realizing with the Wheel of Fortune that if we embrace change and we go into it with strength and tenacity and this Mars in Leo, I can do it attitude, and we keep working at whatever is going on here, and we try to lean into this, right? Because this is us embracing change. What we're going to do is we're going to build a stronger foundation on a higher level. Okay? We're trusting in those cycles. We're trusting that this is time, whether this is something that you've invoked. If we've said, okay, you know what, it's time for me to quit my job and realign with my new sort of path or the next phase of my journey, maybe this is an unexpected thing. Sometimes the Wheel of Fortune doesn't always correspond with our human timing. We've got a Four of Wands here, which is the human watch. I'm not wearing my human watch either. So we have kind of our personal human linear time, and we've got the cosmic spiritual timepiece over here, right? They don't always line up. Maybe yours is lining up. Maybe you're saying, okay, you know what? Spirit's showing me that now's the time to make a lot of important changes that are going to feel troublesome, scary, and that are going to, feel Five of Cups too. Those are not fun. But we're doing it for the right reasons, and it may be that you're seeing the writing on the wall from Spirit. You're seeing the divine timing aspect, the signs, the synchronicities, right? The writing on the wall, spiritually speaking, and you're synchronizing your watch to that spiritual watch. It doesn't work the other way around. You're synchronizing your watch to the spiritual watch, and you're saying, this is the time I've got to do this thing. I've got to make this change in my life. And we're riding that wave of cosmic time. We're riding that wheel, and it may feel like a roller coaster. This is one of those Ferris wheels where all the buckets are then spinning upside down and backwards, and I don't go on those ones, but I like a good Ferris wheel. I feel like this is the Ferris wheel, the spiritual Ferris wheel, right? And when we're at the bottom, between the rubber and the road, we can't really see much. The view from the bottom is much different than the view from the top, where you can see the bigger picture. You can see the future. You can see past the short-term fives and see the long-term sixes, nines, tens down the road, right? And so whether this is something unexpected, I'm just going about my daily life in my nice routines of got my four walls, and then one day, something's changed. You're able to say, okay, I know how to react to that. I've been here before. Nobody freak out. I got this. It's hard work. You're going to get your hands dirty. You're going to get some dirt under your fingernails, but that's okay. Or this is something where you said, it's like a cat, kind of things. I think there's going to be an earthquake. I've had cats all my life, and they know when something's coming, And in California, we have something called earthquake weather, where it gets really still and quiet outside. And then you know there's going to be an earthquake soon. And I feel like that's kind of, you're tuning in to that spiritual timing, and maybe you're saying, okay, something's going to happen now, and I've got to be ready for it right when it does, to take advantage of it and make it work, because you realize the Princess of Pentacles under the surface. There's a lot of potential in you. Okay, the Princess of Pentacles is someone who is just about to, it's like you've been gestating something, and something's inside of you ready to get out, and now it's ready to be born. And it's kind of like this. There's something under the surface that's now breaking forth from underneath, and all the timing is there that says this is coming now. There's no more waiting. Okay? And I think that you realize that there is this maybe new version of yourself, or this next level job, career, vocation, creative work, or whatever this is for you particularly. You know that's inside of you, and it's gonna come out one day, and it's just a matter of when. I think the when is now. Okay. Now, Spirit's saying something about a grandmother's ring that you have, or some older female energy. You have a ring from them, or something like that. Yeah, some kind of an heirloom or a piece of jewelry from an older female in your family. And I don't know why that energy is coming through, but it could be that older female energy is a very powerful influence on your life, even today. Okay, I feel like it's someone that has passed into Spirit. I'm getting a K name. I don't know if there's a Karen or a Kathy or something along those lines, but the K name and the ring, yeah. The future position, like we said, is this Ace of Pentacles, right? This is both the ending and the beginning. This is saying that, look, I'm going to break a couple eggs, but then look, I've got my omelet. And this is perhaps the new path, a new version of the path. We're taking the step on that new road. But I feel like this is the culmination of whatever this was. Now we have to break it down if we're going to move on to what's coming next. It's kind of like this is your tent. We think of the four walls, a permanent structure. What if this is just a campsite, right? This is just a campsite, and this is our tent. It's still four walls, still got water, shelter, food. Maybe it's transportation and a campground. Well, it's your feet, maybe a bicycle. Because let's say this is temporary. And we know that every place I get is not necessarily the permanent structure for me. It could be permanent enough. It could be 30, 50, 100 years permanent, maybe. But even then, not permanent, right? Even after 100 years, maybe I'm going to move on from this, right? So we keep that in mind always, that this doesn't have to be a permanent situation. This doesn't, even if I wanted it to be, it's not necessarily going to be. It doesn't mean we're living in a constant state of fear and anxiety. It means we're always ready. We're always looking for the opportunities or the signs or the writing on the wall that says it's time to take that next step now, so I can always be kind of in the flow with life, and I can always be in tune with that Wheel of Fortune. So this is perhaps the temporary campsite, and sometimes we've got to pack up our tent. We've got to find the next place for us to set up shop. Okay, whether we're talking literally or metaphorically, it doesn't matter. Okay, now let's talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. Please subscribe if you haven't. Times are weird out here in YouTube land, right? So really all the support is so appreciated, whether you like the channel and you subscribe, you comment on the videos, or you even become a channel member. It's a blessing to me, and I feel so appreciated and so blessed, and I send that blessing and that appreciation right back to you. Okay. You can also find me on the Patreon and on the website if you want to check out the extended readings over there. Okay. So come and find me. Yeah. Anyway, your general energy is the Four of Wands. This is kind of the same to me as the campground. This is the campfire, right? This is where all of our attention is focused right now, and it's in the Four and the Four. It's a structure, fire and earth, right? And if you're a fan of the channel, you know about fire and earth. It's the magical, spiritual, electrical circuit of creation. Fire to earth, heaven to earth, above to below, will to action, inspiration to implementation, impulse to behavior, my focus, and the mechanical work I'm doing with that focus, right? It's the manifesting. It's the art and science of manifesting. That's what tarot is. Little secret. Tarot is the art and science of manifestation. It's magic, right? It is the most holy science, right? And art. So this is your focus right now, and the focus has been on right here, doing this right now, whatever your life is, right? Building up your four walls and everything beyond the four walls, okay? But this is also a temporary campfire. And just because this might break down and we might pack it up, we break down the tent and our sleeping mat and our little foldable chairs and our, I don't know, whatever else, your Swiss Army knife, love those things. You put all your stuff away and you kind of, you get going to what's next, right? We do the same thing with our fire, right? We extinguish it, we throw some water on the fire, kick some dirt over it, we put the rocks back where we found them, we dust it off with a tree branch so it looks back to normal, like we don't leave a trace, right? Pick up all our garbage. Where does the fire go? It's not in our backpack, right? Where does the fire go when we extinguish it? We know where the tent goes. The material things, they go into where? I mean, let's say we're not taking our tent with us, right? Let's say that's a cabin that we've rented. Well, where does our four walls go? Well, they haven't really. They're in the ether. They're in the spirit right now, And we're going to materialize them in a new place, and we're bringing what we need to bring along the way. But with the fire here, this is our creativity. This is our attention. And for the time, this current situation back here, this is where all of your energy's been focused. Okay? Now we're going through a process of change. Going through a process of evolution, of the next version of ourselves. We're going through the shedding of our exoskeleton, the molting, the shedding of a skin. Okay? So we're sort of, the fire may be extinguished at this last place, and it's being applied to the forward movement. Yeah. This is a card about completion. It's a card about cycles. It's a card about coming or going, right? And especially on the... with the Rider-Waite tarot cards, it shows kind of a doorway, and somebody's kind of looking through the doorway, and there's people on the other side with flowers welcoming you, right? This card is both a welcome home and a bon voyage. And it's cycles. It's the completion of a cycle. It's the beginning of another cycle. The finish line is just the starting line of the next race, They're waving the checkered flag, but waving the green flag at the same time. Anytime when the Ferris wheel goes around to the bottom, it's the ending of that cycle, but it's just the beginning of it going back to the top again, and vice versa. Okay. So I feel like we're realizing that, yeah, I've always got to be on my toes here. That I don't want to worry about the past. I don't want to be too nostalgic for what I had before, because I know that moving forward is going to be an expansion. It's going to be growth. Okay? Short-term worries, short-term pains, short-term disappointment for the long term, right? Now, the Six of Cups in your environment, this is a feeling of connection. This is a feeling of family. This is a feeling of support. I feel like in your life you have an intimate relationship with your people. You got your soul tribe. Maybe you got your blood family or chosen family. You're not in this alone. Okay, there is a lot of support in your life. I feel like this card is also about the desire that we have for more than just four walls. We, as human beings, need more in our life than just water, shelter, food, and transpo. Okay? We need love. We need connection. We need relationships. We need beauty and art, and we need creativity. We need spiritual experience, and we need all sorts of stuff, right? And so what we're doing is we are continuing to move forward and to expand our life so that we can improve the quality of our life. This is a life where we really are feeling the quality. Okay? The quality of our relationships, the quality of, as we are sort of moving up in our own ascension, whether we're talking career, finances, or physical health, or spiritual work, or relationships, as we continue to move up or forward, right, we may feel like we're walking a staircase. It's a spiral staircase, and we're going up. Every time we go around, we're going up. Maybe it feels like we're walking in circles all the time, but we're going up and up and up, okay? And I think that we are continuing to improve the quality of our life, even though we have to go through, you know, a 5 of Cups and a 5 of Pentacles to get there. Well, yeah, this is the walking, right? This is the walking. Now, the 2 of Cups is in the position of the difficulty, right? It's the fear. Maybe the fear is that we'll never find our purpose, that we'll never feel fully aligned with our life. Maybe it's and this is a card of love, okay? I think the worry here is that we're going to have a life that doesn't have the love. I mean, because you got it, though. This is it right here, right? So, but there's still this fear that we're not going to have perhaps anything that is kind of unconditional, right? This is an unconditional love. This is a self-love. This is a divine love. This is a romantic love and a platonic love, right? This is all the love. This is the super glue that holds everything together, okay? And I think this is what we want more than anything. And if we love something, if we love our life, we love ourselves, we love our family, we love our spiritual work, we love our destiny, that we have this connection, this union, right? And we feel committed and connected to something, we're going to go through the difficult changes in order to sustain this. Like, this is what it's all about. I feel like this is your reason for doing everything. And it's kind of, I don't know, in a way, it's, I was listening to somebody talking the other day, and they were saying how they were going to have to move to a different town in order to get a better job to support their family, which means they'd have to live separate from their kids, you know. And they were kind of like talking like, I don't want to be away from the kids, but you know, I got to go take this job that's out of town, or it was different state. That they had to go take this job that would take them away from their family for a certain time out of the year, you know. And they really didn't want to do that. But the idea was that you're doing it because you love them so much that you're willing to separate yourself from them temporarily to do what's best for them. It's kind of a noble thing. It's your virtue. I mean, it's your virtue and your valor of your 7 of Wands. You're doing whatever it takes to get through this because you care about something so much, because you know that this is the right thing for you to do. You're willing to go through that 5 of Cups. Because the 5 of Cups is that temporary disappointment. And it's kind of like, this is not going to last forever. Okay? This is going to stabilize either into another 4, but preferably we're going up to a 6, right? Preferably it's not a circle. We're not making lateral moves, that we're going up, right? And so it's kind of like we almost feel right now we've got the 6, I don't want to go back to a 5. Well, we go back to a 5, we're going to level up at an even greater 6, right, is kind of the idea there. So I feel like you're going through these changes and you're dealing with them. They're not easy, but you know that they're the right changes for you, and the right version of yourself is emerging. Okay. Let's look at the mystery card. I would love it to be another 6, right? But I feel that what my main feeling here is that this was the process, but the waiting is over. Like I think you're getting to the other side of this. I think that's why we've got this in the immediate future, right? Because things are going to settle down. This period of the 5s that you're in now, the changing, fluctuating, stressful time, I think is coming to an end. I think there's no more waiting. There's no more in front of this obstacle trying to figure it out, trying to just keep going and find the energy to push through. I think with the Wheel of Fortune, I think all of that's coming to an end. I think the cycle is completing. And I think it's going to be really, really good. But let's look at the mystery card. I'd like either another 6 or a 9 or a 10 of pentacles or cups. Okay, let's see what we have. 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords. And this to me, don't freak out. I hear the groans. 3 of Swords. It's sorrow, right? It's kind of, it's saying that, you know, we've got just underlying suffering here, right? I feel like this card right now is you understanding the process of change on the mental plane. It's a 3 and it's swords. It's understanding how we create things with our mind. You know what? I didn't even point this out. There are no swords cards in the reading here. There's no swords cards. There's no air here at all. It's just water and earth, water and earth. It's how you feel about what you're doing. This is kind of saying, like, I got to get my feelings under control. You know, this is saying that the mind here has to kind of override the heart, because maybe the heart is kind of like saying, I don't know that I can keep doing this. I've been banging my head against the wall for so long, and my emotions are suffering here. I don't want to do it anymore, you know. And I think Spirit's saying, override that. Keep going. Don't let the 5 of Cups here, and of course the disappointment. If we go from a 6 to a 5, we feel like, well, I just want to go back. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go back where I had this. Because maybe right now you feel like you've upset everything. Everything is in flux, and you don't know the status of all of the emotional, you know, luxury and pleasure and joy and community. Because maybe you're in the process of that big move, and so you feel separated from all that love and all that joy. And sometimes I just want to turn around and go back, you know, because I want that. I miss that 6 of Cups. Spirit's saying we got to get a handle on our emotions. Don't let your emotions turn you away from this obstacle that you're facing, this challenge, this change, this shift. It's not a bad card, but it's a card that's saying, you know, it's as bad as we allow it to be. Our feelings we're going to be miserable and sorrowful and heartbroken if we allow those feelings to overwhelm us. Otherwise, we have to kind of, you know, mind over matter here. Maybe we need the swords cards. We need to sort of, you know, we need to skewer our heart a little bit here so we can continue to do the difficult thing, knowing that all the love and joy and pleasure is there. It's coming. I think it's right around the corner. I think it's coming now. You don't have to wait any longer. But don't let your heart motivate you to quit before those blessings arrive. Okay? And that, I think, is when we can control our mind and we can override our emotions, the fluctuating, you know, pleasant and unpleasant feelings. Because this is something true, this is something you love, this is you care about, you know that this is for the best. We can override the emotions, and we can create the reality that we're really wishing for here. Okay? Sometimes this is a card of, you know, we've made a wish, but we don't believe that it could happen. Okay? And sometimes this is this could be our own emotional complexes underneath the surface coming and sabotaging us. And we want to be aware of this. I'm glad we got this card, to be honest with you, because now we're going to recognize when there are things that pop up in your psyche that are trying to get you to quit or turn back or go back to where you were instead of pushing forward. Okay? Now, we're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There is a link up top and there's a link down below. New readings for Leo are on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. The readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.